All right, let's begin. Close your eyes. Let your sitting bones sink down into the mat. Relax the shoulders. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax the jaw. Let the lips part slightly. Let the tip of the tongue touch the top of the mouth, the roof of your mouth. Bring your attention to your breath. Feel where the breath goes as it enters the body and as it leaves. With each exhale, let the body relax a bit more. Let the muscles loosen and sink a bit more into the mat. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to take several deep belly breaths. And when you take a belly breath, I would like you to inhale deeply through the nose, filling the belly and letting it expand with air, letting it get bigger like a balloon with very little movement in the chest. And then when you exhale, you'll exhale completely, pulling the belly button toward the spine. So go ahead now and take 5 slow, deep belly breaths. Complete inhale, expanding the belly. Slow and complete exhale, removing most of the air from the body and pulling the belly button toward the spine. After you've finished your 5th deep belly breath, you can move back to normal breathing. Gently open your eyes. We're going to move into staff position. Staff position is a seated position where the legs are extended and the hands come back by the hips. Palms flat on the mat, fingers face forward. We're going to push a little bit into the arms and make sure that the spine is straight, that the crown of the head rises up. Now, while we are in staff position, let's begin to loosen the feet a little bit, circling the feet, rotating them around, and changing the direction of our rotation. And letting the feet come to stillness, opening and closing the toes. Now, pointing the toes forward, bringing them toward the floor, and then pulling them back toward the knees. When you pull the toes back toward the knees, you might feel that stretch on the back side of the legs, and that's what we're going for today. Forward, toes come down toward the floor, and back, toes come toward the knees. Continue to move through that forward and backward motion of the feet, not too fast, holding each position for a few seconds. And on those times that the toes are coming back toward the knees, see if you can pull the feet back a bit more to enhance the stretch. in the back of the legs. And very good. We're going to finish here and come back into our easy seated pose with your legs crossed. We'll do just a little bit to warm up the spine. Arms are down by the sides. Hands come up overhead. Palms come together. Hands come down to heart center. Arms out to the sides. Palms come up. Gaze follows the hands. Hands to heart center and by the sides. One more all the way up. And back to heart center. Hands by the sides. Let the hands come up one more time here, and then let's drop the left hand down to the mat, stretching the right hand up and bending over to the side, bending over to our left side, really extending that upper hand. You might turn your gaze up to the hand if it's not uncomfortable. That will have a tendency to spiral the chest a little more open toward the ceiling and pull that upper shoulder back. And we're going to come all the way up again. This time, right hand comes to the mat. We do a side bend to the right. Left arm stretches long. Your gaze can certainly stay down at the mat, or it might go up to that raised hand. And both hands back down by the sides. We're going to extend the legs out long once more. And beginning with the left leg, we're going to bend the left knee and bring the left foot back so it's on the mat. But you can leave the left foot here. That's perfectly fine. But if it's in your practice this morning, I'd invite you to take that left foot over to the other side of the right leg. The right arm will extend, and I'm going to twist over to my left, holding that upright knee with the right hand. Left hand plants back behind the hip. Crown of the head lifts up. Make sure your back is straight as you twist over towards your left. Gaze can be back over that back shoulder. Take this foot with the extended leg and pull the toes back toward the knee. Come back around forward, let both legs be long. Then the knee of the left leg. Foot can stay right here where it is, or if it's in your practice this morning, take that foot over to the other side of the extended leg. Left arm extends, left hand wraps around and grasps that right knee, while the right hand comes back behind the torso, serving as a kind of a support or kickstand. Crown of the head lifts, spine is straight. Twist is over to the right side, gaze over the right shoulder. Flex the foot of the extended leg, pulling those toes back toward the knee. Come back to center, release. Now, bend both legs, feet on the floor, hands back in that same position we had in staff pose, back near the hips, fingers pointed forward. We're going to do a little rocking motion of the knees side to side. So we're going to drop both knees over to the right, let them come back up to center, both knees over to the left. And we're going to continue back from side to side. Feel free to let the torso go with the knees, possibly letting the hip come off the mat to get the knees a little further as we move from side to side. The next time the knees come from the left back to center, stop. Extend the knees out long one more time. And this is a place where we're going to use a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can simply do a seated forward fold. But if you have a strap, put the strap around the soles of the feet, down near the heels. Arms should be pretty straight here. And the back is straight, the spine goes up, the crown of the head is lifting. On an inhale, I'm going to kind of expand my body up. And then as I exhale, I'm going to fold forward, pulling on the strap, one end of the strap in each hand. Now don't lock the knees. Let the knees have at least a little bend in them. You may find, like me, that you can't bend forward very far. That's okay. You're probably feeling some stretch in the backs of the legs. That's good. And once again, if you don't have a strap or a rope or a tie or something like that, you can simply do a forward fold with the arms extended out as far as you can get them. Let the head and neck relax. They'll drop down. And come back up. Very good. Keep that strap close by and come down onto your back. Settle into the mat here for a moment. Relax. Let the muscles soften. If your eyes are closed, open them, bend both knees, let the feet come flat on the mat. We're going to go through a flow here that will involve stretching our legs. Begin by sending the hands overhead. This is kind of like a full body stretch with the knees bent. I guess that would be a half body stretch. Now, start with the right leg and bring the right knee back toward the chest. Foot comes off the mat and swing the arms around, grasping the leg behind the thigh, straightening the leg, bringing the toes down toward the face and pulling that leg back a bit. Then release everything. The foot comes back to the mat as the arms extend long overhead. And then the other foot, left knee comes back toward the chest, hands grasp the left leg behind the thigh, leg straightens, toes point down toward the face. We pull back on that leg and we release everything. Now we're going to continue one leg to the other. So I'm going to bring my right knee back toward the chest, hands grasp behind the thigh. Leg straightens, toes point down. I pull that leg back in toward my torso. Release, foot goes down to the mat while the arms go long overhead. Left knee comes in, arms swing around, grasp behind the thigh, straighten the leg, bend the toes down toward the face. And release everything on that side. Continue both sides. 2 more times on each. So my right leg is extended, grasp behind, toes point. And I release, arms go back overhead. Knee comes back toward torso, lifting, toes point down. Left side releases, last time on the right side. Leg goes up. Pulling in, toes point, release. Last time on the left side. And release. Let the hands be down by the sides. Excuse me. Now, while the knees are still bent, Bring the right knee back toward the chest and grasp behind it, much as we just did in the last little flow that we did. Now we're going to work on just the right leg here with a very simple movement and very similar to what we just did. And you're going to pull that knee in closer to the chest and then extend the right leg forward, straighten the knee, toes point down, and then release. Straighten, toes point, release. Straighten, toes point, release. Now the degree to it, and continue to move through that little sequence, straighten and release. The amount of straightness that you can get in your leg is related directly to the tightness of those muscles in the back of the leg, especially the hamstrings that we're working on today. One more on the right side. And release that right foot down to the mat. Other side. Bring the left knee back toward the chest and grasp the left leg behind the thigh with the interlaced fingers. And then begin straightening that left knee, left leg, toes point down toward the face, and release. Straighten and release. Straighten and release. Straighten and release. Straighten. We're going to do two more on the left side. Release. Next to the last one. And last straighten. And last release. Both feet on the mat. Bring the hands down by the sides. Let the knees remain bent, feet flat on the mat. Close the eyes for a moment. And just take a little rest here. Maybe give your attention to your hamstrings and see if you're beginning to feel any stretch or loosening or softening or some sensation that tells you that the hamstrings are getting some benefit from what we're doing. Open the eyes. Take your strap one more time and bring the strap down along the bottoms of the feet. Let the feet go up in the air. Now, your hold on the strap should be such that your arms are extended pretty much. The feet are up. We're going to pull back on that strap a little bit, bringing the feet back a little closer toward where the face would be. So the toes might be over the nose. Mine aren't quite there. But that's okay. I can feel that stretch in the back of the leg, and that's my goal for this morning. Slip the left foot out from under the strap and let it come down to the mat. Switch both ends of the strap into the right hand and send the left arm out away from the body in a T position. Using that right hand, pull that foot back a little bit. And then begin to let the right foot go down to the right toward the floor. You might have enough flexibility in your hips and back leg muscles for that foot to come all the way down to the floor. That would be great if you did. Now on your extended leg, left leg is extended, pull that left foot back so the toes pull back toward the knee. And bring that right leg back up to center. Let the left foot come up to join it. You have an end of the strap in each hand. Pull the legs back toward the chest, toward the toes of the nose. You might feel a little bit of a difference between the left and right legs. Maybe not. Then slip the right foot out from under the strap and put both straps into the left hand. Right leg comes to the mat. Right arm extends away from the body. And then let the left foot fall down towards the floor. You might note that one of the things we're stretching here in this position are some of the muscles more to the inside of the leg as opposed to just the back. And bring that foot back up to center. Let the right foot come up to join it and take a strap in each hand and pull those feet back toward the face. Finally, let both feet come out from the strap. Set the strap aside. And send the legs out long. Arms by the sides, eyes closed. Just resting for a moment. Open the eyes, roll over onto the left side. Now, while I'm on my left side, I'm going to try and get the top part of my legs so that they extend straight down from my body, but the legs are bent, they're bent at the knees. You can keep your supported on your elbow like I am here, or if you want, you can come all the way down if that's more comfortable for you. I'm going to try this up on my elbow. And what I want to do is bring my top knee back up toward me, so it's coming towards my chest. I'm going to take my top hand and reach behind it. And then I want to extend my leg, straighten the knee, while both supporting and pulling up with that right hand. Then bend and come down. Straighten, pull it in. Bend and come down. Again, straighten, pull that leg up and in. Bend and come down. 2 more times. Straighten, up and in. Bend and down. Last one. Straighten, pull up. We're going to hold this one for just a few seconds longer. And down. Very good. We'll move over onto our right side and try the same thing. Again, I want to try and keep my legs more or less in line with my torso. My knees are bent. I can rest on my elbow or I can come down all the way down. I'll try all the way down this time on this side. I'm going to begin by lifting up that left leg and bringing the left knee in toward the chest, taking the left hand and grasping behind the thigh, right around the knee area, and then extending the leg and pulling that leg up and back with my left hand and back down. Knee comes toward chest, leg straightens and back down. Knee towards chest, straighten, pulling up, pulling back and down. 2 more. Knee comes toward chest. I pull up and straighten and back down. Last one. Knee toward chest, straighten and back down. Very good. Let's come over onto all fours into our tabletop position. Wrists are under shoulders, knees are under hips. Remember, if this is too hard on your wrists. One of the things you can do is take a blanket or roll up your yoga mat and use the edge of the blanket as a place to rest the soles of the hands here. That'll take some pressure off the wrists if your wrists are sensitive to this kind of a position. Let's move through some cat-cows to keep our spines nice and limber. On an inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the back, let the head drop. Inhale the cow, belly drops, head lifts. Exhale the cat, back arches, head comes down. Continue to let your inhale move you into cow pose and your exhale move you into cat pose. As you move between these two poses, letting your breath be your guide. The next time you move from cat to neutral, stop. Stretch the left leg out long, keeping the toes on the mat and pushing back through the heel, stretching the back of the leg. Bring the knee back down to the mat. Other side, left leg extends, toes stay on the mat, push back through the heel, stretching the back of the leg. Knee comes down. Lift the toes, lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels while you're in your down dog. Another movement that helps us to stretch the backs of the legs. If you're pedaling your heels, come to stillness. Look up between the hands and step, float, jump, walk into a forward fold. Begin in your forward fold by relaxing everything, letting the head and neck be soft. Then I want you to bend your knees a lot so your hands are coming down to the mat. Then lift the hips up, straightening the legs. Your hands might lift up off the floor or the mat. Then bend again deeply. Lift the hips, straightening the legs. Bend. Knees straighten, hips come up. Bend the knees. Knees straighten, hips come up. Now bend the knees so you're in a comfortable forward fold, one that you like. Cross the arms, let each hand grasp the opposite elbow on a ragdoll pose. Gently twist side to side. You might feel a little stretch in the back of the legs as you do that twisting. One arm is on top of the other. Switch the orientation so the arm that was on the bottom is now on the top. Come to stillness, release the arms down. On your next inhale, come up to a flat back so the back is parallel with the floor. Crown of the head pulls forward, tailbone pulls back. On your next exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, come up to a flat back again. Exhale, fold. And on your next inhale, push your feet into the mat. Bring your arms out to the sides and then overhead. Palms come together all the way up Hands come to heart center and then down by the sides. Now, take a moment to check your feet, your positioning in your mountain pose. Your feet will be about hips width distance apart. Notice the weight in the feet. If there's more weight in the front or the back, make a little shift to get equal weight. Same from left to right. Take 3 of those deep belly breaths while we're standing in our mountain pose. Filling the belly with air, expanding it like a balloon, and then collapsing the belly, bringing the belly button toward the spine. And after your third one, you can return to breathing normally. Let's take the hands up overhead. Palms come together. We're going to interlace the fingers, but point the pointer fingers toward the ceiling. We're going to bend over to our left. Then back to center and bend over to our right. And back to center. Bring the hands down behind the torso, interlace the fingers, and then pull those hands away from the back, opening the shoulders, opening the chest, and letting the gaze go up toward the ceiling. Release the hand. Let the arms come up to overhead, palms touch, then the palms turn away, we fold forward, bending the knees as we come down into our forward fold. Inhale to a flat back, exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, bring the arms all the way up, hands come together overhead. Palms come together, hands come to heart center, and then drop to the side. Arms come up, palms come together. Turn the palms away, fold forward, bending the knees as much as you need to take any distress out of the low back. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way back up. Hands come overhead, palms come together high. Hands drop to heart center, and then the hands come down to the sides. Last half sun salutation, arms come up, palms touch, palms turn away, we fold forward, bending the knees. Inhale to a flat back, exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, come all the way up, palms touch, come to the heart and by the sides. Now, if you're at the front of your mat, stay there, if not move there. Put your hands on your hips. From our mountain pose, we're going to take the left foot and step it back just a little bit, probably 2 feet's worth of distance, 2.5 or 3. That back leg, that back foot will be angled out. We're going to turn the torso so that we're over the extended front leg here, the right leg, and we're going to move into pyramid pose by beginning to fold over that leg and letting the hands come down on either side of the leg, and make sure you have at least a little bend in the knee. You don't want the knee locked. As you're coming down, let the head and neck relax. You'll find probably more weight in the front foot. That's okay. And should feel a good stretch in the back of the leg. Remember to let everything just fall into the pose. Let gravity pull the head, neck, shoulders. You may find as you stand here for several breaths, you can actually fold forward a little bit more. Come back up. Now we're going to move into our warrior 2 position. So put the hands on the hips, Step the back foot back, left foot goes back, right toes point forward, right knee bend. Extend the arms out away from the body. So we're in warrior two. Get comfortable in your warrior two. Let the shoulders relax down the back. We're going to move through a flow here. We're going to do this 10 times. Begin, and what we're going to move into here is a kind of a modified, simplified, flowing triangle. I'm going to straighten my front leg, begin to tip over my front hip, bring my right hand down, and then instead of stopping at my leg like I do in triangle, I'm going to let it sweep through. Now, you might feel as you sweep it through, you might feel some stretch in the back of this leg. That's what we're going for. Then I'm going to come back up, bending my leg, coming into triangle, or coming into warrior two. So that was 1, 2, straighten the leg, hand comes back up into warrior two. 3, leg straightens, hand comes back, up into warrior two. 4, leg straighten, sweep the arm back, warrior two. 5, come back up, warrior two. 6, back up, warrior two. 7, back up, warrior two. 8, I'm going 2 more after this. Warrior two. 9, back into our warrior two, and 10. And back up, hands on hips. Send both feet so that the toes are facing the long edge of the mat into a wide-legged stance. Begin to fold forward, and you'll get to a point where you're going to want to take your hands off your hips and drop them down toward the mat. Again, don't lock the knees. Make sure there's a bit of a bend in each knee. Let the head and neck relax, and then begin to shift side to side. It's as if the hands are moving from one foot and then sliding over to the next foot. As the hands slide to the right foot, the left leg lengthens and stretches. As the hands move over to the left foot, the right leg lengthens and stretches. The next time the hands are back to center, come to stillness. Take a deep breath in and a complete exhale. And then on your next slow, deep breath, come all the way back up. Turn the left foot toward the short edge of the mat, bring the right foot back in. So we'll do pyramid on this side. Left leg is extended. Turn the torso toward that left leg. Begin to fold over the leg, letting the hands come down along the leg on either side. Let the head and neck be loose and soft and hang. You get to a point where the back of the leg says, I'm not going to fold anymore. That's the time to stop. Maybe even come back up a little bit. That's too much. Come back up, hands on hips. Step the back leg back into our warrior two stance. Front knee is bent, back foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat, arms extend. Gaze it out over the front fingertips. Let the shoulders relax down the back. We're going to move through 10 of our little modified triangle poses. Front leg straightens, I tip over the front leg, let that left hand swing back, then I come back up into warrior two. Front leg straightens, I swing down, that was 2. Back up to the warrior 2. Front leg straightens, I swing down, 3. Moving to our 4th one, straight. Modified triangle, warrior 2, there's 5 I think. We'll call 5, this will be 6. Warrior 2, 7. 3 more, 8. Now if this is too much, if 10 is excessive, stop and rest. 9, last one coming up, and 10. And back into our warrior 2. Bring the hands to the hips. Once again, let both feet point forward towards the long edge of the mat. Begin to fold forward in a wide-legged stance here. Let the arms come down to the mat. Bend the knees at least slightly. You don't want to lock the knees. Let the head and neck hang. Slide both hands over to the right foot. Back through center, look to the left. Once again, we're going to shift from side to side. Next time that the hands get back to the center point, stop. Take a deep breath and a complete exhale. And then on your next deep, slow inhale, slowly straighten and come all the way up. Bring the hands to the hips and the feet together at the top of your mat. Let the hands come down by the sides for a moment in our mountain pose, Tadasana. Let the eyes close, crown of the head lifts up, spine is straight. Let the arms go up high, palms come together. Turn the palms away, fold forward. Bring the hands down to the mat and then the knees down to the mat. In our tabletop position. Now, I'm going to lift up and send my right foot forward, hands on the right thigh, in a low lunge. I'm going to take my left foot back a bit. I'm going to slide back, straightening that front leg. My hands might come down to the ground to help with my balance. I'm going to fold over that leg and then stretch in the back of the leg. We're going to hold this position for several breaths. My toes are lifted off the mat, although you could try this with the foot flat. Slide forward, plant the hands, bring the right knee to the mat, and bring the left knee up, coming into a low lunge on this side. I'm going to send my right knee back a little bit more. And then I'm going to begin to slide this, straighten this left leg, sliding my hips back, raising my toes, letting my head and neck soften. Keeping my hands near the mat for balance and folding into this position, letting my stomach come close to my thigh to the extent that the stretch in the back of my leg permits that. Come forward again, plant both hands, and move back into tabletop. Now, slide the hips back toward the heels. We're going to move into a seated position. So you're going to swing the legs around and come back down into our staff pose. So in staff pose, our legs are extended out straight. Hands are back near the hips. Fingers point forward. At the beginning of class, one of the things we did in staff pose was a little flex of pulling the toes back toward the knees and then pushing them forward. Let's do that again. Toes back toward the knees and then forward. There is a possibility that you may feel a difference now compared to the beginning of class. The legs may feel a little more stretched, a little more flexible. The next time the toes come back toward the knees, stop and get your strap one last time here. We're going to do this forward fold with a strap. Again, if you don't have a strap, you can simply fold forward without the strap. But if you have a strap or a tie or a rope or something like that, put it around your feet down near the heels. Arrange the strap so that the arms are extended, but the back is straight. On an inhale, extend the crown of the head up and then begin to fold forward. Pulling the strap, not locking the knees now, keeping the knees bent whatever degree you need to. Letting the head and neck loose. And just relaxing into the fold, into the position. Come back up. And we're finished with the strap, so you can set that aside. We're going to come down onto our backs. And begin simply in a resting pose. We're going to move into a reclined bound angle pose. So while we're down here on our backs, bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall away. Arms are down by the sides. Hands flat on the mat. And take time here to let your body relax. Take a few moments to just let all the muscles soften. Bring the knees back together, feet flat on the mat. Send the arms out away from the torso in a T position. We're going to do a little spinal twist here by letting both knees fall over to the right. Now, before we do that, let me suggest that you lift the hips up a little bit and slide the hips to the left, and then let the knees fall over to the right. You get a little more distance when you move the hips like that. Your gaze can be straight up at the ceiling, or it can be over the left fingertips. Recall at the beginning of class, I was talking about the connections between the hamstrings and the calves and the quadriceps and muscles around the hips and the low back. You might feel that some of those muscles have been worked today, which we would expect. Let the knees come back up. Lift the hips and shift them off to the right. And then let both knees come down to the left. Gaze can be out over the right fingertips. Bring the knees back up, feet flat on the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. Hold them in tight. Gently rock side to side. Massaging the low back. Then come to stillness. Let the feet come to the mat. Send both feet out long as we move into our final resting pose of Shavasana. Legs are long, feet fall away, arms are down by the sides, hands might face the ceiling. Scan the body. As you breathe calmly, slowly through the nose. Identify those places that are tight, that are holding on, that you can soften and relax, that can let go. Begin to deepen your breath. Let your mind come back to the present. Bring some movement into the body. Moving the hands and fingers, feet and toes. Perhaps gently turning the head side to side. And when you're ready, roll over onto one side. And gently bring yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes closed, hands by the sides. Raise the arms up and bring the palms together, gazing up at the hands, and then hands come to heart center. May the sun bring you new happiness by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries and the wind blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and see its beauty. Namaste.